probably gonna hear the cat behind me because he really wants in, and he's got this little ball that like shakes and stuff. That's probably what you're gonna hear, and I don't know how to edit that out. Maybe today's the day that I'll learn. I don't know. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a quick foundation, what do I want to call this? Not just like a one-time only foundation review necessarily, but I did realize that in my stack of foundations, I had a lot of foundations that are long lasting. I have really long days all the time, like 12, 14-hour days where I'm just like here and I'm there and I'm working and I'm doing other stuff. So I always need really long lasting foundations. So I wanted to do a comparison kind of reviews with them. So I'm going to do this in parts. So I'm obviously not going to put this all in one video. Maybe I can do like a quick wrap up video when we're done. We'll see how I feel. But each video is going to be its own foundation review, and then I'm going to compare them all together. So I don't actually know what I'm going to call this, but you'll find out when I upload. Obviously. So today we're actually going to talk about the Shiseido Synchro Skin Lasting Liquid Foundation. If you're part of Influenster, you might have received this. I have used this before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply it, and then I'm going to talk you through how I apply it and how it makes the skin feel. And then later on through the day, we're going to check in at the end of the day and see what it looks like and how it sits and how it settles and all of that. So I'm going to use the same products with each foundation that I've used before. So I'm not going to change my primer for the other ones. I'm not going to change my setting powder or my concealer. I'm just going to do the same thing. Like my highlighter, my eyeshadow, my lipstick obviously could change, but yeah. And then I'm going to use the same setting spray, because I use a setting spray every day. To start, we are going to use the Laura Mercier primer, and this is the Radiance primer. This is one of my favorites. Pretty sure I've talked about it like ages ago when I first got into blogging and how this was my favorite thing in the world. And it is still one of my favorites. I do have another go-to that I really like, and then that's the Too Faced Hangover, I think it's called. And then that one's really good. I don't know, I'm just really into making my skin glowy. And then for coverage purposes, to pay attention to this massive pimple here. I don't even know what happened. I don't know. But you'll see the amount of coverage based on this. I feel like that's a good gauge. I'm gonna just apply this with my fingers first. And this color is a little bit light on my face. I do bronze it up though, and it matches perfectly fine. The consistency is a little like watery almost. Like it's just, I don't know. It's a little bit more liquidy. I probably just put on too much because I have a heavy hand. And then I'm gonna use a beauty blender. Today is the day that I have to wash all my brushes. And then we're just gonna dab it in. So you can actually see it is a little bit light. I find when it dries though, it's not that it oxidizes by any means, but it does dry down a little bit darker. But this is a very light color for me. So I'm just gonna blendy. It's got a little bit of a fragrance to it, but it's not too strong. I can't remember what foundation it was to use that had a lot of fragrance to it, and it might have been Chanel. I can't quite remember. But this one's not like that. It does have a scent, but it's not super strong. And like, it does have enough coverage to cover that, probably about like, I don't know, 75%. So it does have high coverage. I do think it's buildable. I just don't really want to put on that much today. It just doesn't feel that thick, like you're wearing that much. Then we're gonna move on to concealer. We're gonna use the, I feel like that's upside down. We're gonna use the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. This is a really great concealer if you have really dry under eyes. I do right now. Generally I use MAC concealer, the, oh my god, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called. Pro Longwear concealer. That's a concealer that I usually use, but I've kind of drifted more towards this because Pro Longwear I use on the nights that I like go out. And this is the one that I use when I am just doing everyday things, or when my under eyes just seem really dry. So we're just gonna pat that on there. And this is a moisturizing kind of concealer. I'm just gonna dab some on this blemish here. I really like it. It's not as long lasting as the Pro Longwear concealer. It's just really nice for moisturizing. And then we're gonna go back in with the Beauty Blender. Second cat. Oh, you can really tell how much sleep I'm not getting. So we're gonna set it with the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Loose Powder. We're just setting the concealer. I don't really set my foundation. And then we're gonna use the Sigma Tapered Highlighter Brush, the F35. I've had this for forever. Just dab and tap, and then just put that on there. And then after that, I generally go in and do my bronzer. So we're gonna use the Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion and this massive Tarte brush. I feel like this might actually be a foundation brush, but I've been using it for my bronzer because I find that it creates like a nice diffused bronzing line. It's not gonna be like a line of bronzer where it's gonna like kill somebody. So I do really like this bronzer because they have a matte bronzer. I'm not one for super glittery bronzers all the time. Every now and then, yeah. But generally in my everyday, I just like my bronzer to be matte and just kind of bronze me up. So we're just gonna get a little aggressive with the brush here and then just apply that under the cheekbones and then bring it up. I know some people do it in like a swift 3 motion, and like sometimes I do. I just like to start with the cheekbone there. So just bring that in. Like you can see the difference. Just adds some more dimension. And I find with this bronzer you kind of have to get a little aggressive with the brush just to get enough product on there. We got the Milani Baked Blush in Rose Doro. As you can see, I've used it so much that the whole front's gone. But it's a wonderful blush. It's not that it's shimmery or anything like that, but it's got a little bit of a sheen to it. So it fits really well with me. And we're gonna go in with the Real Techniques blush brush. I think I got this in New York like a year ago, year and a half ago. Oh my God, it's almost been 2 years since I've been to New York. It's crazy. So I'm just gonna use that blush. And it's just a beautiful rosy color. And then for the highlighter, I'm actually gonna use the Tarteist Pro Glow. I have not used this yet. I did take pictures of this in order to write a review on the blog. So I will link that below once I get that up and running. But this is actually my first time I'm gonna use it. Just an FYI. So I'm not using the Sculpt or Shade colors. I'm actually gonna use Stunner for the highlight. So it's actually gonna be, there's 2 mirrors here, so it's gonna be really hard. This color here, I just don't want to blind you guys. So this kind of coolish purpley color right there. And that's the color I'm gonna use. And I'm gonna use a pan brush. That's how I apply my highlighter. So that's it for my face makeup. I'm just gonna do the rest of my makeup. I'm not gonna bore you guys with all of that. It's just gonna be like basic stuff and lipstick. And then I will check in before I skedaddle. And that's the finished look. It's a little intense for a Sunday afternoon, but we're actually doing pictures for some fashion posts. And I'm just gonna spray with the Urban Decay All Nighter spray. Again, this is typically the setting spray that I use just to keep everything in place. Right now it is 11:57. I am going to check in with you guys later. We're gonna do some posts. We have to run around. I'm gonna do some cleaning. Yes, I'm gonna clean in all of this makeup. I don't care. Yeah, and then I'll check in. We'll see what it looks like, see how it broke down, see if it's still standing. Okay, welcome back. It is 8:30 right now. I was gonna wait until 9, but I really want to put on pajamas and take my makeup off. So here it is. Today we did some fashion photos, ran around, ran some errands, did a bunch of cooking, baked some cookies. I did take a quick nap. And this is what I still look like. I haven't touched anything. The only thing that I reapplied is my lipstick. So this is what it looks like now. The only thing is my concealer is really breaking down under my eyes. I don't think that has anything to do with the foundation, obviously, because I know that the concealer that I was using was more so a lighter concealer that doesn't last very long. And the reason I did that is because my skin has been so dry, as I said earlier. So I just wanted to use something that was a little bit more moisturizing for my under eye area. I did notice that the foundation after 8.5 hours has finally started to break down. Like, I did put a little bit of concealer here, so that's probably why it's breaking down right here, but also right here. It's breaking down. It's kind of like, you might be able to see it's making my lipstick bleed a little bit, but it is breaking down more so here in my more oily areas. I still really like the finish on this, and I do really like it. It just kind of sucks that we've only been sitting here for 8.5 hours and I haven't even really had an intense day. It's more so just a casual Sunday, and it's broken down this much. So it is a really beautiful foundation. I do really like it. The finish is incredible. It does look flawless on the skin, and it's really easy to blend. Tiny bit goes a long way, and it does have pretty good coverage. I just wish it would last longer, which is crazy. I know, 8.5 hours, like, what am I doing? But I like my foundation to look good for 12 hours. You know, sometimes after work we go to like games or like we go out or something like that, and I still want to look normal when I'm out or when I come home. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Give it a thumbs up. Give me any suggestions on your favorite long-lasting foundations. Let me know what you think and what you like. I'm always interested in trying new foundations, all about it, and I hope you guys have a great day.